Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
What's up, Delora? New week, new recap.
Yes. Very excited for this one. I feel like it's very much the season for it, I guess.
You know, I can't say I ever thought I would be the one recapping a horror, but here we are.
I was thinking about that. I was like, we always talk about how Ashley doesn't do horror, but we've done Nope.
Yeah.
Which is technically horror.
Ish.
And then we did Sinners, which is also
Sinners
horror.
did scare the fuck out of me in theaters. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I love vampires. But in theaters, those jump scares,
yeah,
they got me.
There was only one though, so
girl, set a precedent early in the film. I had bubble guts, but anyway, this is also a thriller, and it also had a level of intrigue for me. It's not like, ghosts and demons, so I think we're good here, guys. We teased it a couple weeks ago. We also teased it at our last episode for Headlines and Hot Topics. If you have not listened yet, please go back and check it out. But we are recapping Send Help today. This is a 2026 film available to stream currently on Hulu. Let me give you guys a quick summary. An overworked analyst and her arrogant Nepo baby boss survive a plane crash near Thailand and must cooperate to survive on a remote jungle island. Cast: the Rachel McAdams as Linda Little, Dylan O'Brien as Bradley, Xavier Samuel as Donovan, and I do not want to butcher your name, ma'am. I apologize in advance. Edel Ishmael as Zuri. Ratings: Rotten Tomatoes, 92% critic score for this film, 86% audience score for this film. So actually, y'all are feeling it out here. Could not find a Google user's thumbs up. But Delora, what is your grade for Send Help?
Well, Ashley, this was an interesting movie. So when I watched it with Dave. And, I figure it would be more of a survival movie in the literal sense of being shipwrecked and what have you. But I didn't realize how triggering this movie actually is when it comes to like power dynamics and corporate settings and things along those lines. And it was stressful. But it was also entertaining. I would give it probably a B plus, only because, it was done well. It was acted well. There were certain things that I didn't care for, and we'll get to that. But yeah, it was an entertaining movie. How about you?
Same. We're in the same ballpark. I gave it a B. Again, when I watched it, I was hesitant because I saw that it was horror, and I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? But I had heard some good things about it. My mom watched it. She told me about it. And again, I love stretching and seeing people stretch and go outside of the norm. And this is such a departure for me of anything I've seen Rachel McAdams really sink her teeth into. So I was excited for that. I had seen her and Dylan on the press tour for this, but I did not know what this movie was or what it was really about. So
I put to him being an ass though. Like
I think I said this before. The last few projects he's been in, I've hated his guts.
Wow.
And this is no exception.
Okay.
So I've actually gotten used to seeing him in these roles that I despise. I look forward to him going back to the days where he was Styles on Teen Wolf and I root for him. But lately, sorry, Dylan. You know what you're doing though. You're choosing these. But I think for the reasons of seeing Rachel have this departure, hearing some good things about it, and also just saying, you know what, buckle up, let's see what this is about. I dove in and I really was surprised to your point a little bit about like some of the meat of what you got. Like it wasn't just fluff. It wasn't just either super gory or like it really had a story. It really evoked emotion. And then I didn't see the end coming from the start. Like I did not see the
No,
trajectory of this film coming. So I
no.
enjoyed that as well.
I will say for the most part, when it comes to the end, um, I had a few thoughts, but I didn't have any strong opinions. And so what actually happened, I was like, yo,
Yeah. Took some turns. All right. Well, before we get too deep, guys, let me go ahead and throw that spoiler alert out here. If you have not seen this yet and you don't want to know too much, come back to us when you've watched it. Otherwise, let's get going. So, we are following the story of Linda Little, a hardworking but undervalued and overlooked employee. When the previous CEO's son, Bradley, takes over, she thinks it's her time to be promoted, right? She's been promised she's going to become VP. She's been looking forward to this. She feels like she's earned it. She's earned her shot. Unfortunately, Bradley comes in and is much more interested in promoting one of his little friends and golf buddies, Donovan, who's been at the company for 6 months, whereas Linda has been there for 7 years. What are your thoughts when we meet Linda in her treatment at the office?
so meeting Linda, you definitely picked up that she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was talking about. She was an expert in her field. I think one of the things that I've noticed on social media, this saying, I'm finding it to be very interesting and maybe the truth. And it's that performance reviews are also literally the performance of doing the work. It's the theater of it all. And to understand like the corporate games that are played. Whereas growing up, and I feel like a lot of women are indoctrinated of like, just do the work. You know what I mean? And good things will happen to you if you put your head down, do the work, you'll be reliable and this, that, and the other. And that's not the same lesson taught to men, especially men of privilege. And the co-worker Donovan, it's just fascinating the level of audacity paired with expectancy of like, I don't think he ever thought that he had to work hard or sweat hard or that sweat equity. Like, I don't think that ever crossed his mind. You know what I mean?
I mean, he clearly did not, right? He
Correct.
had adjacency, and
Correct.
that's what mattered.
Proximity,
Uh
right?
huh.
To power.
Yep. He was in the right rooms. He knew the right people.
He also looked a certain way because
He looked
let's
a certain
not
way. Indeed.
forget, Miss Linda, we don't eat tuna at the desk. Okay.
So, my next question to you was, were points made in that chat that Bradley had with Linda about why she did not get this job?
Sure, sure, but they're all superficial and they're all fixable. And so therefore that's where it's like it was a load of poo at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Um you kind of just wish somebody would have just been like, sis, hear me out.
Where's her black friends, right? She needed some black friends at work.
Actually, I'm teaching my daughter that. I'm teaching her, I was like, if you see like somebody walking out the bath with tissue on their shoe, you tap them on the shoulder and you let them know. You don't have to make it loud, but you be like, hey, I see something. And you keep it going.
FYI. Yeah. I think when I watched it the first time, I was so viscerally disgusted by the tuna situation. Like, I struggle with seeing people with stuff around their mouth. It's like it's really grosses me out. And like I was eating both times I watched it. So like I didn't even look at the screen the second time, Laura, and I still felt nauseous. I'm over here trying to eat my Chipotle and I'm like, I know it's happening and it's grossing me out from afar.
I was a resident advisor for most of my college years. I don't think, yeah, the only time I wasn't a resident advisor was when my freshman year. I have seen and experienced the horrors of microwave fish
Mm.
in a dorm room. There was one incident in particular. This girl was on this corner room next to the elevators, and her room smelled so bad. It smelled that fish smell was so thick. And we were like, what are you doing? You do not microwave fish in your room. This is a common
Dormitory.
area. Like,
Mm.
no.
Awful.
And it took us months to get her to be compliant. We were like, what the fuck are you doing in that room?
That's why you gotta get shots before y'all go to college and live in dorms, people, because of people like that.
But
But no,
anyway,
I think I said all that to say earlier that like again, I don't want to justify what Bradley said, but there absolutely was
no.
some truth to it, right? Of like presentation and
Yes.
the way that you show up and the way you present yourself in the workplace absolutely matters in
Yes.
terms of
They
opportunity. But I
call it
think
executive presence.
but I also think just like you could do for anybody else, you mentor and you have availability, especially if she's been there for
Exactly.
7 years. Like, has no one
Yes.
ever poured into Linda? She's an exceptional employee,
Exactly.
exceptional. So no one has ever wanted to pour into her to help her reach her fullest potential, you're telling me. You guys have just, I mean, y'all have her sitting with the assistants and she's a manager even
Right.
at this point. So it was just it was disrespectful. Like the way she was treated was disrespectful. And then Bradley, there's something to the art of bullshit because he smoothly
Oh
bullshitted her
my
about that trip.
gosh. Yep.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Sounds fair to me, right? Like, yo. I will say it definitely took balls for her to go march into his office though. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect, Linda. So
Absolutely.
even though she's distraught over this and not getting this promotion essentially, because again, it goes to Donovan, who has been there 6 months, was a marketing associate or something like that, and has taken credit for her work. She agrees to go on this work trip that was offered to help them land a merger in Bangkok. While on the plane, she's working hard. She has cracked something that they really needed her help with as a part of this deal, only for her to take off those headphones and realize she's being laughed at for an audition tape she made for Survivor, because that's her show. She's really big into, you know, survivalist things, essentially. Even when we kind of go into her apartment with her and she's making dinner and you see all this stuff and how she seemingly loves to be like in nature. They're laughing in her face. Like even like Bradley looks back and knows she's listening and still keeps laughing. Deeply unsettling. Like I hate bullies with such a passion. And I'm like, to have to deal with that to that extent in the workplace by your new CEO, I think I would have quit on the spot. I think I would have quit on the spot.
Easily. Easily. And if, in some ways it feels claustrophobic because you're like trapped because these people, you can't get away from these people fast enough.
Exactly. And it was
Um,
such a little boys club too.
I
They were a
was just
bunch
about to
of
say it was giving very much
ass
bros.
kissers.
Yep. Yep.
Well, laugh now, but little did they know that these survival skills of Linda's are about to be put to the test because they are about to have a epic plane crash off the Gulf of Thailand. Do you think that the visceral nature of that plane crash was supposed to be indicative of what people do for survival or indicative of the character of the people who were on that plane? Because they all
What do you
lost their
mean?
shit. Like Donovan was trying to take Linda out of her seat to get her seat.
Yes.
You had the other dude biting his
Yeah.
leg. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it
Yeah.
indicative of their character or like, do you think this is how everybody
Easily.
would react if
Yeah.
they were trying to fight for their
No,
lives?
I think it was a showcase of their true characters for sure. Because I mean, even though Linda is prepared compared to the average person. You didn't see her trying to hurt someone else on the way down.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And they definitely, it was gory the way that they got out there, but you know, Linda and Bradley survived, with Bradley being injured because they were the only ones who were truly buckled in. Even though I would have thought that flight attendant would have survived too, but God bless. So sorry, ma'am. And when I say Linda's survival skills are A1, she
Impressive.
creates shelter. She's able to get clean
Impressive.
water. She makes a fire. Like,
Unreal.
do I need to watch more Survivor? Is that what y'all are telling me? Just in
It-
case?
it's so funny. I've read maybe two fictional books. Oh, no, no. It was a fictional book and then a recent show that I watched about um people going, regular people experiencing being like shipwrecked or, a major crash. And you see how, the people who make these stories show how they survived. And I feel like I would definitely survive, but there are things I just simply don't know that I think would be beneficial. Like, I don't know how to start a fire from scratch, which would be essential. And then I don't know how to fish. Like, I feel like I would need to learn how to fish.
Girl,
What else is also essential?
I was just figuring out how to look for ticks over the weekend. So I am not a nature girl. I feel like I'm more on the Bradley side. I mean, but I would do more. I would try harder
Yeah, yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
not that level of privilege where I would be expecting anybody else to do it for me.
His behavior is just unacceptable, honestly. Like,
He
it's
lost his
unreal.
mind. I'm like, you are
Yeah.
laying under a little makeshift shelter I created for you. I've been keeping you alive. I pulled you to safety. I've been treating your leg only for you to talk to me crazy. But Bradley learned the hard way real fast.
I'm like, it's for me, it's like work politics do not exist here.
No, I
So
don't.
we're
He's not even used to just acting like that at work, though, Delora. That's the thing. He's
That's
been used to
true.
flexing that power in every aspect of his life. What a rude awakening.
Crazy.
She left his ass out there
As
to
she should.
the elements, to dehydration. And he realizes he literally cannot survive without her. And it was deeply humbling for his bitch ass.
This whole movie was crazy to me. I'm sorry. Like, I again, I don't know what it's like to think of like a man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that life. A privileged one. Like,
Yeah.
it's just unreal to me because again, it reminds me of this conversation that I see on social media too. It's like people are the way they are at work because that's all they have. They have nothing
Mm-hmm.
else outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
The power, the prestige, what have you. They take that mess to heart because that's all they got.
Well, what's funny too is like it would be different if this was something he built. His daddy built this company. This ain't even your company.
Exactly.
This is you're a
Exactly.
nepo baby. This is your
Yeah,
inheritance. You didn't build nothing from the ground up. What are you taking pride in? Your dad's hard work?
exactly.
You saying that though made me think if this had been, let's say, Miranda Priestley, who got stranded with one of her employees, do you think she would act the way Bradley is acting and still assume she's the boss and the one in control? Do you think it's just a man thing, or do you think it's certain people in positions of power overall?
That's a great question. I think I don't think she would have been as bad as him, but I think there probably still would be some level to like trying to take control of over the situation.
And have to eat some humble pie.
Yeah.
Linda blooms. She is happier, more confident. She is in her element, baby.
She looks great with a tan.
when she goes and looks at herself in that water, you can tell she's like, I am that girl. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, it's so funny. It's like um you gain confidence when you're able to accomplish great things, big things, survival, making sure that you and somebody else is alive. Like that's a big accomplishment after being lost
Honey,
and stranded on a deserted island. Absolutely.
give me a Linda. If I ever get stuck on an island, give me a Linda.
Period.
That
Like
wild boar hunt,
best
though,
friend.
visceral. Do you think that was impressive or homicidal?
It was impressive. I think you have to be somewhat homicidal to be willing to kill a boar.
And the way that that went down, like I was like, are wild boars really this aggressive and terrifying like
Yes,
this?
that's how Baratheon got taken out. Sorry.
Jesus. You're
Shout
right.
out to
Game of
Game of Thrones.
Thrones.
How did
Damn,
he fall? A wild boar hunt.
baby.
And then it all kicked off the games.
Well, just as Linda is out here living her best life, she spots a boat and she was about to scream for help. And she thinks again. And instead, we see her kind of duck and hide. And she says, it's too soon. What do you think in this moment was her motivation? What is she waiting for?
At this part of the movie, I think it was all her, like selfishly. She's not ready to go back into the world where she felt small, where she was made fun of, where she was trying to fight her way to get respect. On this private island with her and this jackass, she has the power, she has the upper hand. And I think that was something new for her, and she didn't want to let it go.
I also, when I was watching it the first time, was like, what does she have planned? Because when she said too soon, I was like, where are we going with this, Linda? Like, what is going to be enough time? And is it like, are you planning to teach him some type of a lesson? You know what I mean? Is that what you mean when
Hmm.
you say it's too soon? Because I was like,
I never thought about it from
yeah, I thought she
like
was
that.
plotting. I was like,
You
girl,
thought
what do
so?
we have planned for this man?
Did you think there was ever a love connection or a romantic angle?
I didn't yet. I didn't yet. I'm thinking, like, to your point, she is in her element because she's thriving as a person for the first time, probably in a very, very long time. Linda, when we meet her, strikes you as somebody who is, while she is gifted and she knows she's gifted, she is used to being talked down to, treated as less than by everybody around her. She lives a pretty isolated life from what we saw with just her bird to keep her company,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we don't get the impression that she has a very full situation back home, right? So I was thinking, she just right now she's figuring herself out. She's living her best life because she feels good about herself. But then when this happened, I was like, girl, is this about to be what's the one movie where she has him like in the house and she tortures him?
Misery.
Yeah, I was like, is this like a misery situation? She about to start fucking him up? Because again, this is a horror. So I didn't know where we were about
Yeah,
to go.
I started leaning towards misery at one point though. It did
Yeah.
occur, but at this point, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, again, while she's, living and loving this experience, it's the exact opposite for Bradley. Bradley is like, I would rather be anywhere else than here. He ends up going on this whole tangent, fires Linda. She states the obvious again that, honey, your daddy built this company. What are you up in arms about? Your accomplishments. And so he goes off and tries to do his own thing, and it's pitiful, right? Disaster. He becomes so desperate, he starts eating bugs. Girl, I said he turned into fucking Timon and Pumbaa out here
Mhm.
trying to survive. Linda over here making sushi.
Right. Making sushi, and he is eating stuff that will tear up his insides.
Girl, when he ate that bug and then spit it out and his whole mouth was black.
I was like, I didn't know your tongue could go, could go like that. Like, what?
Because these are the super bugs. You know what I mean? These are the I
Correct.
live on a deserted island, I can survive anything bugs.
Yes. Yes.
So Bradley obviously is at a very low point. He comes back, tail between his legs, apology, rehire, alleged humility. He was even willing to give up some ass if needed.
Allege. And again, who's motivated by that? Like, Linda was not, at this point, Linda never gave any inklings of, like, yes, this is what I want from you.
But it also shows from an earlier scene when he was interviewing, seemed like maybe an assistant or something like that. And he said, how would
Yeah.
you show, like, what would you be willing to do to go above and beyond? And she kind of throws that back at him that he very much was the type of boss that was sexually inappropriate with employees and used his position of power to take advantage of women. So it's also like yet another onion peel back of the reality of who Bradley is as a man.
Right. Right.
And Linda was like, yo, I'm not you. Don't even worry about all that. Keep your clothes on. First of all, I don't want you after you done been out here assed out, washed up on this deserted island too. Because when the last time you really got to wash your balls? You know what I mean?
That is the question. In this heat,
In this heat, Delora, disgusting.
and there's
So
no products,
no, no, ma'am.
none.
It's ocean water. That's it. So again,
And
he's
even then, side note, I wouldn't even feel clean with ocean water because you left with all that salt on your
yeah.
skin.
There's nothing right now that would make you feel very clean. Again, maybe just that animal instinct and urges because you are on the beach. Like think about 6 days, 7 nights, the Blue Lagoon. We've seen many a love story where they're fucking on the beach and they ain't showering, and that's fine. But that was not. I don't. No one wanted Bradley in this moment.
No.
So as they're making up whatever, Linda decides to show Bradley the lay of the land, right? She's like, if you're gonna be out here, at least I can show you some survival tips to help you out. She takes him up a cliff, shows him an area to never go into, whatever. Linda almost falls off the side of that cliff. Bradley had to save her for once, had to come in handy for the first time during this experience. So, bonded them. They decide to get drunk off of some toilet wine, as they call it in prison, that Linda has made, and some secrets get spilled. Girl, Linda was married for 10 years to a not very nice man.
Nope.
This man died in a car accident. He was a drinker, he was an alcoholic, seemingly abusive. She told Bradley, usually she hides his keys, but that night, she poured him his last drink, took them keys, put it on the table. Deuces. Did this make you see Linda any differently hearing this story?
Not really. Not at this point. Because at the end of the day, he shouldn't have been drinking and driving in the first place. Now, did she do everything she could to stop him? No, but I don't think she's fully at fault because I just think she probably stopped caring because it got to that point of the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, so no, it didn't change my thoughts initially. No.
I felt bad for her. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, so this obviously impacted your self confidence, your self worth. This is why we meet you in the state that you're in. I feel so sad that you were with someone who abused you. So, it is what it is. But at the same time, we also find out that Bradley's mom was abusive to him physically, verbally, and his dad was basically a stranger. So it really was a great insight into both of their potential characters and how they've become who they are. I think Linda even said, like, monsters aren't born, they're made, in
Yeah.
reference to Bradley.
Yeah.
And I think inevitably the same will be said of Linda. So we'll get there. Just when we felt, and I think Linda really felt they had bonded, we find out it was all a ploy. Bradley butters her up with dinner just to poison her, enough to try and leave the island on a makeshift boat. He barely got into that water before a wave took his ass clean out.
First of all, it was poorly constructed. It was
Girl.
it was gaping holes. Like this was like not, you would have drowned, sir. Like,
Where
what are
do
you
you think
doing?
you're going? Where do you think you're going?
It's giving a little boy with his temper tantrum too, by the way. Like, I feel like that's part of the reason why I probably never fully took him seriously in that, because we know he's a baby. Like, it's like, have you done anything for yourself?
No.
And
Remember
like,
when
yes,
Linda
you might
commented
have
on his
daddy
baby soft
issues.
hands? He has
Yeah.
not done anything.
But then his anger and his vindictiveness, that's where it's like people like him are really dangerous, you know?
Mm, mm. I think he realized the error of his ways pretty quickly, but it was just the idea that you felt like you had to do all of this like behind Linda's back because she wanted to stay. You didn't have to poison her. I think it would have been fine if you were just like, "Yo, I'm gonna really try to get up out of here." I don't think she would have. At this point, I did not feel like she was gonna try to stop him.
No, not at all. And that's another thing. Why did he feel like he had to sneak and do something like this? Like, again, awful, awful person.
Yeah. So he again gets wiped out. Linda, even while she's throwing up all over him from being poisoned, rescues him, drags him back to shore. And next day he's apologetic. He's in tears about what happened. And Linda's like, "It's okay. I made you a little something. Go ahead and eat this." Now, why he would immediately eat something from Linda after he poisons her is truly idiotic, but also hilarious. She feeds him a toxic octopus that paralyzes him temporarily. I have to say, this is actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole film because it's just so diabolical that I found it humorous.
I was in awe. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah. She sits there and she tells him the story about her childhood dog and how the dog kept running away. So, guess what they had to do? Snip, 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 snip. Take them balls, settle you down. So she pretends to give this man a vasectomy. I was terrified for him. I was at the edge of my seat, like, oh my God.
At this point, Ashley, I really did feel like she was capable of doing that.
Me
Like, I really did.
too.
And so I was shooketh, definitely, by this scene.
Diabolical.
I mean, she pulls down this man's pants. Like,
Honey,
stressed,
just the idea
stressed.
of being paralyzed alone is enough. This man could not even look down. His eyes could not even look down to see what was happening. Terrifying. This is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie because it was so diabolical. Turns out it was just a rat, but moral of the story, don't fuck with Linda.
Period.
She said, "Don't ever mistake my kindness
For
for
weakness.
weakness, baby." Woo! Crazy. Bradley's fiance, Zuri, tracks them down, finds Linda, did her own search, never gave up on locating them.
You know, I was wondering if he was capable of love. Like, I'm like, do you love this black woman or
He
what?
clearly fucks around on her, so what's love to Bradley?
True.
You know? Was I impressed that he was with a black woman? That's the
Mm,
only points he got in this whole
I
movie.
was gonna say, I almost wanted to say no because for me, to your point, it's like if you're not gonna be faithful, like, and obviously she was gorgeous model type, but
Yeah,
uh
but at least she getting that bag.
she's getting the bag and she got that ring. The
Exactly.
younger generation, they're not impressed with diamonds.
Okay. Yet another thing I don't give a fuck about their opinion on then. Y'all have no taste. Anyway, um that same spot that Linda fell before off that cliff, she takes them that way. Zuri falls. Her little guy that was with her tries to rescue her. And instead of helping, we see Linda standing off to the side, seemingly allowing whatever is going to happen happen. And then she returns back to the campsite alone and seemingly depressed. She has nightmares about Zuri in her dreams. So
And she
clearly,
should.
clearly they died. They did not
Chica.
make it.
Like, first of all, this is where Linda officially lost me. This is where I'm like, we have officially entered the misery camp. Again, I was unclear on her motivations dealing with that dude though. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Why are
just
you
like,
staying here with him like this?
exactly. If because he could go, take the fiance and go. Again, what was the reason, to quote Cardi B?
Not only what was the reason, I think I reached a point too where it was like, Linda, I think you by now have figured out what makes you happy. So go back to
Yes.
civilization and do that.
Yeah.
This corporate bullshit, this ain't it. You know
Nope.
now what makes you happy. So
That
lean
part.
into that. But pure cinema, as we hit this like last 30 minutes or so of the film, Bradley finds Zuri's hand sticking out of the damn sand with that ring. I said, this is like sticky horror at this point because
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, y'all playing in our faces now.
very death becomes her moment or
It's very, I was
something.
gonna say it's giving camp.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very campy. And so obviously he goes and confronts Linda. She tells him that it was an accident. She slipped. He ain't buying it. And honey,
As he should not.
this shit is about to turn into a knockdown, drag out, eye gouging, partially scalping fight between the two of them. And
And
the
it didn't have to end this way. Again, like what was this woman's motivation truly? Because I'm like, if you love it out here, then stay
you
and let this
stay.
man go.
Yeah. But we're about to hit the piece de resistance because when Bradley finds out that there is a fucking mansion on this island this whole
Ooh,
time with
child.
air conditioning, refrigeration, security cameras, that's where this knife came
Again,
from that Linda's had all this
yes,
time.
she is playing in his face. I was also trying to think about it. I'm like, is this some type of allegory to corporate or something like that? Like making people do all the grunt work just to know that, I don't know, you don't work as much or as hard at the top. I don't know. I
There's
was trying to piece it
definitely
together.
there's definitely a eat the rich element here for sure.
Yeah.
That comes into play, but it's also the biggest thing is power dynamics generally,
Yes.
right? Power
Yes.
dynamics and who has it and when do you have it and how do you use it? Because I think at a certain point
That
it
is it.
felt like Linda
That
was
that
using
makes
it
more
well.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what it is in some ways too, right? They were dangling this opportunity over her head, and just because she didn't like cross these imaginary boxes, they didn't allow her access. So in some ways she was limiting his access to something that he would have wanted and appreciated. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think we were rooting for her when she got power until we saw like, oh, you're
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah. True.
So the end, we see flashbacks. That first boat that Linda did not scream for help to was actually staff for the house. She did smash the head of the guide that was trying to help Zuri, caused them to fall off that cliff. And you talked earlier about love or any type of romance. Linda seemingly fell in love with Bradley, calling him her sweetie. And at this point in the film, I think it rubbed me the wrong way. The idea that we're gonna chalk this all up to a woman wanting to stay to be with this asshole of a man. That really pissed me off as we started wrapping up this movie. I said, "You
I
got to
don't
be kidding
remember the
me."
sweetie part.
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, my sweetie, I thought we had, fallen for each other and all this and that." And yeah, yeah, that was kind of the big speech when she was there with the shotgun and he was trying to convince her that he was in love with her and all this and that.
Right. But I thought she was playing up what he was doing too But again, he didn't have an honest bone in his body either.
No. And I I think that there's an aspect of it that yes, I think Linda probably did develop some level of feelings for him, but at the same time, I think Linda's just a little bit fucking crazy. Like if
Yes,
we're honest, I think
that is a
she
fair
she also is
assessment.
just off her rocker.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's life, and it's probably the husband, and probably a number of things that have created this monster. But we're seeing her by the end of this film in her full glory. She ends up killing Bradley, and a year later, she goes on to live her best life, Dolores. She out here golfing.
I
She's
mean,
written a best-selling book that's about to be turned into a movie.
love that.
Self-help book is next. When we get the wink wink or the look at the end of the film, I said she done turned into fucking Regina George. That's exactly what I
Easily,
saw. By the end of the movie, I said, this is
easily.
Regina George has risen. What a
Unscathed,
ride. What a ride.
unscathed, still on top.
Bird is still going strong. That bird gonna outlive us all. Who is the
Birds of all
real
minds.
villain of this film to you? Who's the real villain?
I still think it's Dylan. I still do.
Bradley.
Or
Bradley.
Bradley, sorry.
Well,
That's
Dylan's his
his
real
real
name.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she was made. Her monster was made. I that's what I do feel. I don't think going in the survivor mode, she had any intentions of killing his fiance and the tour guide. Like I don't see that for her. But um I think it's him just because every time he tried to come off as innocent or vulnerable, it was a lie. And I was like, oh, this man, it's giving you can't shame the shameless. Like he has no level, like it's giving psychopath. I mean, honestly, he does things to people strictly out of manipulation for his own personal gain.
Yeah. I think the real villain's the patriarchy, right? Like, we're honest. It's a man's world. We're
Yeah.
all just trying to survive in it. And that power and that influence and destruction of that caused a lot of the elements that we saw and had to witness in this film and the creation of the Linda that existed. And I mean, some of it, she might also have some mental health issues, Abby. But I'd be curious to see, like, I kind of wish if Linda was going to become who she became, that there was more flashbacks to show me other elements of her that maybe would have looked different in hindsight. Like, was she actually
Yeah.
always this nice, mousy person, or were there other elements that we missed that were inklings into her true character? That would have been interesting to explore. So maybe
Yeah.
another time, maybe another film. But any final thoughts for Send Help?
This was one campy, gory ride for sure. I haven't seen anything like it, so it was refreshing to that end. Like I'm like, oh yes, this isn't a run of the mill kind of movie. It really touched on people who have experienced and survived corporate America.
Lord Jesus.
And so it was very fascinating and also simultaneously triggering. But the ending was also just so out of left field. Again, I can't believe she killed those people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, this was not
Honey,
worth it. This was
triple
not worth
homicide
it.
out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was, I appreciate original stories like this.
I would love to continue to see Rachel McAdams stretch her legs, spread her wings, whatever saying we want to give. She is one of my favorite rom-com actresses, but she's such a great actress generally. Obviously, there's been other roles that she's been able to sink her teeth into, but I enjoy, and I think a lot of actors enjoy playing a baddie. because, you really get to go fucking crazy. And I enjoyed
Yes.
seeing her get to go crazy. The physicality to this role that she got to get into, the fact that it wasn't about her vanity or her beauty or any of those things.
Right.
I imagine she had some fun. So, like, yes, more of this,
She
Rachel,
was
more of
very much
this.
a capable woman for sure.
Yeah, loved it. Loved it. More of this. So, good job, y'all. You got me watching a horror thriller, and it was one for the books. So, thank you very much. All right, guys, it's time. We've been gone for a little bit. Let's get into some hidden gems.
All right. So my first one is a very popular movie on Netflix that came out while we were gone. Voicemails for Isabel. We have a mutual one this week, and that is it. Um, Ashley, I caught myself recording my emotions while watching it. I did post it on our social media. I got some fun comments from it. It was so good. It was so good. Like, for a movie to be as touching as it was also equally just as funny, fun, sexy. It was well acted. Again, I was thoroughly bawling my eyes out, and it wasn't even 20 minutes into the movie. I'm like, what is in this? And then the end. And shout out to Robin. Robin is actually I do enjoy her music. Um, and honestly, this isn't the first movie that tried to use this song as like a central
Touchstone.
theme,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of the movie. And when I tell you that the movie, it didn't come nowhere close to this one. um so you have it as your hidden gems as well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw it like ASAP, like the day it dropped. I had been anticipating this because I love Zoe, but I
Yeah,
also love me some Nick Robinson. Nick
same.
Robinson from everything has
Everything.
captured
And
my
he's a
heart.
man
And
now,
he's
like
such a
full
like
fledged.
I don't know how much acting he really has to do because I imagine he's this sweetheart in real life. Like that is it. Don't prove me wrong, Nick.
Please don't.
But he
Please
seems
don't.
like he's just such a great rom-com
He's
lead.
actually 31 now. Like, oh
It's
my
crazy. From
goodness.
Love Simon and all that, that's crazy. But
Yes.
I when I found out that they have known each other since they were teenagers and have this
Went to high
bond, I was
school.
like,
Yeah.
their chemistry makes so much more sense. They had great chemistry. Her
Yes.
relationship with her sister in this film was so beautiful. To know that the writer
So
director,
beautiful.
this is her story, is why I think also a lot of people have gravitated towards it. And it's also, we talk about this a lot, like rom-coms have been more challenging over the last few
They've
years.
been non-existent.
They've been there. They just haven't been good.
Well, in the way that we have come to know and love them, they've been
There have been no
more
classics.
more critiques of
Yeah.
the state of relationships in today's society than people just having a good time and falling in love, like the movies we have come accustomed to.
There have been no
um
classics. This, I would buy
yes,
this. This would go
easy,
into the collection.
easy.
They did a great
um
job.
they did such a great job. And like I said, it was so much fun. And again, the heart, it had so much heart.
Hmm.
um yeah. All right, my second hidden gem, it is an account on Instagram. You've heard of Sam Smith, haven't you, Ashley?
Yeah.
Well, they have a new Instagram called Samserved. And he goes around calling people who follow little piggies. And it's like he goes to his favorite restaurants and talks about like the food there, what he loves about it. He went to Japan. He went to London talking about his favorite grilled cheese. He was in New York with his latest video, talking about his favorite gay bar and the burgers they make. Sam Smith is freaking, he's a star, obviously, but like this, these videos are so entertaining, Ashley. Like, he's like, "Hey, piggies, let's try it. This food is so delicious," and he's like pirouetting, and he's just such himself. It's so cute, and I love. We were talking about this earlier. We love a good side quest. This is a great side quest. Obviously, he is an award-winning singer,
Right.
with hits.
Right.
But he has a full-fledged food blog, and it's adorable. It's adorable.
I love that.
Uh, and then my final hidden gem. It is summer. I love a good beach read. Um, and this author, Carley Fortune, has written a lot of them. Actually, her first book has been made into a series on Prime. It was actually another bookish book talk anticipated series, but apparently they made a lot of changes to the book, to the show compared to the book, and a lot of people aren't happy. There, it's like you get off campus, which is like pitch perfect, and then you get every summer after, and it's not, and it's kind of like, oh no, we're afraid for the rest of these adaptations coming out this year.
Oh yeah, I
But
binged that series. Yeah.
it wasn't, the book is also very dramatic and angsty, and so I still have
Well,
to watch
one
it.
of the biggest things, y'all know tropes I don't like. Love triangles with siblings.
Yeah,
Hate
yeah.
it.
Well, she wrote her latest summer read, Our Perfect Storm. I think I really enjoyed this one compared to her other books because this is like the least angsty one. Like there is drama, don't get me wrong, but basically we have the young lady, she's getting ready for her wedding. Her wedding doesn't happen. You're with her as she navigates this new normal, and her honeymoon is still up for grabs. And so she decides to take it with her best friend, who's the neighborhood boy, next door neighbor boy. So you can only imagine what happens with that. And yes, it sounds like every other story that you've ever heard, but it's done well. And I had a great time reading it. And I wanted to share with y'all because, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I give you all my good stuff. All right, Ashley, how about you?
All right. So my other two, first one is a true crime documentary that I'm sure you've seen on Netflix, guys. Maternal Instinct. Oh, Jesus. I watch a lot of true crime, and this one
I don't want to do it. Is
was
it worth it?
deeply disturbing. I mean, it's worth it, but it's just so sad. It is the story of, and it's recent. I mean, it's happened over time, but this one is literally in the 2020s of a young lady who fakes a pregnancy, befriends another pregnant girl, only to um, cut the baby out of that young lady's womb
Oh my
and steal the
gosh.
baby as her own. It is
What the
deeply
actual F?
devastating. Yeah, it happens. It all the events happen in Texas, and
Why did it not
usually
make national news?
I think it did. I think it did. I can recall inklings of it, but not like to see the full story and to hear the full story is so deeply disturbing. And what I was gonna say about just true crime in general, I watch so many true crime things and it always, gets to you. But I think with this, like the way in which this woman did certain things is just purely devastating. Even some of the doctors who had to testify talked about that, about how they got choked up having to talk about certain things. Like it was deeply disturbing. So yes, it's a really good true crime documentary, but I would say just know that it's going to probably really get to you, especially if you're a parent or just a human being. It's gonna be a sad one, but it was worth note, and especially to always for me understand the psychology of certain people and know what certain people are capable of in this world. So just. be careful. Stranger danger with some of these people out here in these streets. And then my final hidden gem is The Misconnection, book by Tia Williams. I had pre-ordered this a while ago and it dropped for availability while I was traveling. So I went ahead and put in the headphones and gave this a listen on my plane rides and enjoyed it. It is the second book I've read or listened to of Tia's. And this one, one of those love stories that unfolds and has complexity to it. Essentially, she meets a man on a plane, and so she's trying to find this man because they didn't exchange information and all of this. And in the course of that, other shenanigans ensue, right? So I won't give too much away, but definitely worth a read. I enjoy Tia's writing style quite a bit, and it was definitely light, fluffy, nice, romantic summer.
Cute. Yeah.
Summer type of moment. So
I have 11
check
more
it
weeks
out.
on my Libby for that.
Oh, 11 more? Okay.
Girl,
The
it is.
library. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When it's available, go ahead and check it out, guys. And if you have Audible, I'm sure you already, if go ahead, you got it. Those are my 3 for the week. I've consumed plenty of other things, so I'll have more coming down the pipe, over the coming weeks. But you guys let us know, as always, your thoughts on this recap, on any of these hidden gems, anything you want to share with us. We're always excited to hear from you. Please share this episode out with everybody you know. We so appreciate it. Again, we will be airing a replay next week, and then we'll be back with new headlines, hot topics episode, followed by more great recaps throughout the rest of this year. We'll be having a special guest on soon as well. So look forward to that. And yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening as always. And until next time, be blessed.
Bye.